So sitting outside our short-term rental here for the weekend, I am in Margaritaville in Kissimmee, Florida, basically Orlando, Florida for most of you will recognize the name, right next to all of the premium outlets, Disney World, Universal, you name it, right in the central location. I want to talk to you about two concepts here that we talk about on the channel quite often. One is the short-term rental business and how you can enter into the short-term rental business at pretty low risk by picking up a property like this, even though it's a little bit more expensive. And then the second is purchasing where you may want to retire. Florida is obviously a great location for a lot of people. They spend some winters up in the north, and then they come down in the south for the summer. But this is also a place that you may want to just come spend, bring the kids every summer to go to the theme parks and to Disney and whatnot. So I want to talk about those two concepts and how this specific property kind of is a pretty nice benefit to both of them and a pretty good investment for anyone that's just getting into the real estate game with kind of a low risk. So welcome to Margaritaville in Orlando, Florida. I want to talk to you a little bit about the outside of the units and the overall property before we go down inside. Now, if you notice that all of these have kind of the same theme to it, multicolor, it's a very margarita type of feel. Now, the interesting part is that Margaritaville is not, these are not owned by Margaritaville. These are actually kind of a little bit of a franchise outside of it. The hotels is right over here, the traditional Margaritaville that you would have, where you have the hot tub and the big pool and the beach and all the activities that they usually put around Margaritaville. And then surrounded that are all these little individual villas. Now, these are being sold as kind of retirement homes where you can retire inside the paradise of Margaritaville. But if you'll notice in all the houses, they also have these electronic keypads and of course addresses, and they all have names. If you were to go on AirBnB right now and search in Orlando looking for a property, these are going to come up. And so these are all short-term rentals. For that reason, we actually really like them as a just sort of low barrier to entry, very low risk type of option for anybody, because not only when you're looking for Airbnbs do you want to have a great location, but then you always have to worry about is it going to be, occupied all the time, and who's going to manage it, and who's the cleaning, which is why this is kind of a cool property. Orlando, Florida obviously brings a tremendous amount of people because of Disney World and all of those, type of activities, Universal, SeaWorld, and just great beaches and, sunshine. People come from the north, go to the south, basically all year long to kind of get away. Well, in addition to just Disney bringing people into this area, Margarita is in itself a brand name and a destination. So by bringing the Margaritaville, you have that sort of extra layer of sort of interest or attraction to the particular area. Now, let's say you're in New York or you're in New Jersey and you're in California and you want to get into the Airbnb or short-term rental business, but you can't find anything where you are. Well, this is a very good option. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, well, what about the management of the property? Well, that's where Margaritaville comes in for a small percentage, and I'm not quite sure what that is. We haven't inquired about that. But they will come in and they will actually manage these entire units for you. So let's talk about that. For example, your barrier to entry or what you have to do to get in here is basically sign a check, put up some money, and purchase the property. Once you purchase the property, Margaritaville, using its big brand name, will pull in all the visitors. We'll rent the space out to you. We'll do all the management as far as checking in and checking out, all the cleaning, all of the extra linens. They'll actually do the maintenance and repair. While we were here, we saw quite a few little construction crews that are going around, repainting and just touching up different areas to make this look as pristine. Now, that comes with a higher HOA. That's $347, but that's perfectly acceptable for this type of facility. The reason why people want to get into Airbnb is because of the immense amount of return that it can provide outside of just a traditional long-term rental. So imagine you come into this particular property and you say, you know what? I don't have to do any of the management. I don't have to do any of the upkeep. The only thing I have to do is a down payment. Well, what's my return going to be? Well, that's the great thing. The occupancy right here is probably pretty small because again, you have Orlando bringing everyone in, and then you also have the brand name of Margaritaville. Just outside of this, there's actually tons of shops and restaurants and things like that they've actually surrounded the entire Margaritaville with. So there's just a lot of reasons for people to come in, which means you should have a pretty low vacancy. They should be occupied pretty much all year round. So what that means, instead of a short-term rental, where you have to worry about how's it going to rent, is it in the right area, should I buy in the city or the suburbs, and those types of topics we've talked about, you can pretty much guarantee that you're going to have a nice amount of people that are coming here just because it's in that destination, that tourist destination. So you get to benefit from all of the, the short-term rental, let's say, return on investment. Long-term, you could see 6 to 8%. Short-term, you can see, 25%, 30%, pretty aggressive return on investments. Now, you're going to give a little bit of that away because you're going to have a company like Margarita self-manage it. But the upside here is that you can basically purchase a property, let somebody else manage it for you, somebody else upkeep it for you. You don't probably have to worry too much about not having it rented, and you'll have a place that just kind of pays itself off. This particular area is actually a pretty awesome place. It's very walkable. You can see people walking right here. You can, basically walk from here up to the hotel, grab some breakfast, up to the gym, up to the beach, up to the pools, and that's all included with this particular property. So kind of, very, very low barrier or low risk entry as far as a short-term rental, if you were thinking about something. And then the other thing we like about it is, of course, as you're doing the short-term rental for the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, you're going to be paying down this mortgage. This is also going to be going up in value. These buildings started at $350,000. They're right now selling for around $700,000 to $800,000. So they've already doubled from when they were purchased. These are going to go even up more as they complete out the Margaritaville project and as everything else here builds up. So you can imagine 20 years from now, you're going to have a property like this paid off by someone else that you didn't have to manage. You didn't have to, advertise. You didn't have to do anything whatsoever. The only thing you had to do is put down a check. Now, how much do you have to do? Well, if you got in early, this would have been a second home, which means it would have qualified for a 10% down payment. So if you'd have bought early on, it would have been $35,000 down payment. Now, this particular unit would sell for about $750,000. So you're $75,000 into it. And you basically, over the course of 20, 30 years, will have a property probably worth $1 million. Not too bad. Let's go take a look inside. Okay, sitting outside Margaritaville in Orlando, Florida, let's look at the perfect short-term rental. Okay, has to be the probably best short-term rental that I've seen, which is why we're going to do an extensive video on this, because I wanted to show you that if you were looking for something to short-term rent, this is the type of property. Very easy. Entry already has the access code points, which is something that's going to be ideal. You're walking into a main space. You have nice TVs, nice furnishings. The floor is very important. This is actually a tile, so it's basically indestructible. This couch is a large size, can handle a lot of people, so it's going to be very comfortable. Of course, nice entertainment unit. This is going to fold out to be a sofa bed, which is kind of nice. The table, centrally located, beautiful kitchen, beautiful finishes, very clean. Notice this table is very large. It allows for 2, 4, 6, 8 seats, which is going to be very important for anyone that's going to be coming in and renting this particular space, specifically a family. They're going to want to know where they can eat. When they see this in the picture, they're going to be happy with it. Just off here, you have the laundry facilities, washer and dryer included. Always something you want to have in your Airbnb, especially if you're going to cater to families. And then a small little bathroom here, pretty standard, but look at the finishes. That's going to be granite, nice sink, nice flooring, and they carry this flooring throughout the entire thing, which is quite nice. That's going to be a storage closet for the cleaners, so we're not going to enter in there. And let's go upstairs. Remember, the keys to short-term rental is going to be, maximizing the occupancy. The more occupants you can have in a property, the higher it's going to rent for, because you can have, 2 families or large families that don't want to go get a hotel. They go rent a place like this. If my family and I had to go in and rent a hotel, we'd have to get 2 rooms at $600-700 a piece. It's $1,400. We could get this unit for about $700, is what it's going for. This is a master. We're gonna look at the master upstairs, but this is a master with a full bathroom. This is gonna be another, basically master, or a large room with another full bathroom. We'll come back to that in a second. So on the second layer, this is gonna be a balcony outdoors. We'll look at the one upstairs, but this is gonna be a 2-bedroom, 2-bath down here. Now let's go upstairs and let's see what we got. So already 2 people per room. I can put a full family on the second layer. So we're liking that already. And if I go upstairs, I'll notice I have the same setup, master with a master bath. And then I have over here another bathroom. So in a standard bathroom you have here, they're not doing the tubs, they're doing the showers in the bathroom, which is quite nice. A lot of people like showers. It's a better look. It's actually a little bit less expensive just to put the pan in there versus the tub and everything. But you know, pretty nice finishes. Single sink, that's all you need for rental. High-end finishes here, nothing from IKEA. And in every room, they have a really nice large plasma TV hooked up with all the channels, smart TV. The entire house is wired to Wi-Fi. Let's go into the master, very large, king size. In the other room over here, we had a queen. This is gonna be a large king size bedroom. So that's gonna be good for, you know, mom and dad, I guess, if you will, kids in the other room. And look at these closets. Not a huge expense, but a little bit of a built-in, kind of a nice little added touch. If you were gonna be here for an extended stay, maybe a month, 2 weeks, you'd want that built-in, you want those drawers, and, you know, for any of your clothing. TV, and then in this master, the same thing, nice finishes, you know, shower. So all the bathrooms are basically set up the exact same way. They all have a standing shower, you know, single sink, tub, and then look out this balcony. Every floor, the second, the first floor have a balcony that goes out to, you know, various views. In this particular case, you're looking at the entire complex on Margartiaville, and you might be able to see it actually over there. It's kind of in the distance, but Margartiaville's right there where all the facilities are and restaurants and so forth. So pretty nice to sit out there in the balcony, have a cup of coffee in the morning. Very enjoyable. So kind of an ideal situation. Now, what makes this ideal, guys, again, is you want bedrooms and bathrooms. If families come, they don't want to share. So every room has a bathroom in it. You can't get much better than that. Because the rooms are set up 2 on top and 2 below it, it doesn't make the construction cost of this particular unit that much more expensive because all of the walls that have the plumbing in are being shared. So they're just running all the drain stack and the water stack straight down. Now, remember upstairs, we had the showers basically in every room. There's another master. There's a shower that's in there. But if you notice in this one room where they have the queen, they reserved one room, and this is very thoughtful as far as the short term, with a tub in it. The reason why they did that is because if you have a baby like we do, you need to have a tub to put the smaller children in. They don't want to necessarily want to stand up. So if you're going to be buying something like a short-term rental, this is one of the things you want to be looking for. You want the showers. Mom and dad want the showers, but this tub, you want that for the kids. Makes this an absolute perfect setup. I can put a family here in the middle. I can put a family upstairs, and then we have enough room for downstairs. Or I can put mom and dad upstairs, you know, with maybe one kid, and I can put grandma and grandma right there and another kid right there. The configuration is limitless, and each person will have their own facilities, which is going to be key. This unit will probably, or could potentially rent for $700 to $800, maybe even $1,000 a night in peak season, just simply because at $1,000 a night, that's $500 for a family. This can literally sleep 2 families. So 2 families split $1,000 a night. That's $500. That's much cheaper than would be to cram into, you know, just a standard hotel room that would have, you know, some kind of, you know, double bed or double queen bed, some situation like that. And of course, let's go out the back. Let's see if there's any facilities here. You know, again, the same thing, nice little spot to eat. You'll sit in your lawn chair. And if you'll notice, some of the properties actually have hot tubs and stuff. You can sit in the back. Not sure I would sit in a hot tub with everyone over here looking at me, but it is an option. So very good. Nice setup.